Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Keir Smith. For today's video I'd like to talk about the band Yes and my personal journey with the band through 2023, because last year I listened to a lot of Yes music, and this was in part inspired by Scott Lade and his brilliant YouTube channel The Prog Corner, which I'd watched a fair bit of. Yes are his favourite band of all time, and his favourite album by the band and his favourite album of all time is Tales from Topographic Oceans. And as a big Yes fan myself, this is an album that I'd owned, but I'd not listened to for maybe 5 or maybe even 10 years. I much prefer Going for the One or Close to the Edge, and so Tales from Topographic Oceans had been sat there in my collection, gathering dust, feeling most unloved. And Scott, of course, has a video dedicated to his love for Tales from Topographic Oceans, and in that video he warns that it's not an easy listen, you've got to put the hard yards in, and this inspired me to go back and listen to it. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's given me not only a newfound appreciation for that wonderful album, but a newfound appreciation for all that this amazing band has to offer. As of March 2023, I posted my own video called Learning How to Love Tales from Topographic Oceans, where I spoke about my journey with that album, from the struggle at the beginning to the fruition. It took some time. I had to chop the album up. I was listening to sides 1, then sides 1 and 4, then sides 2 and 3, and then eventually I could sit and get through the whole album and get through the whole album again, and after a while I couldn't stop listening to it. So much so that I now hail Tales from Topographic Oceans as my album of 2023. And from there I went back and listened to all of those great Yes albums from that classic period from 1971 through 1980. It's an absolute treasure trove in musical ideas and creation, innovation, with both magnificent virtuoso performances and complete band performances. Absolutely breathtaking stuff. And anything goes, whether it's a 3.5-minute folk-like beauty like Wondrous Stories, or a sprawling epic masterpiece like Awaken or Close to the Edge. All of these albums, starting with 1971's The Yes album through 1980's Drama, showcase serious musical prowess. These albums are so rich with melodic ideas, the vocal arrangements, the harmonies, beautiful, and some may say that Jon Anderson's lyrics are a bit out there. They are, but they're great, thought-provoking. So I'm going to go through each of these albums now and tell you a few of my favourite tracks. And as all Yes fans know, each of these albums is great in its own right. 1971's The Yes album, and admittedly this was an album I knew, but it needed revisiting to refresh my memory, because I didn't know it like most Yes fans know it. I mean, it's hailed as a masterpiece, and I wouldn't go quite that far, but I do think it's very good. I actually like the final 2 tracks on the album, Perpetual Change and Adventure. And that was followed by 1971's Fragile, my first Yes album. My favourite songs from this album are certainly Roundabout and Heart of the Sunrise, both incredible band efforts. Up next is 1972's Close to the Edge, an absolute masterpiece. I posted a video last year called Why I Love Close to the Edge, where I waxed lyrical about the album's genius. That title track it's beyond words how good it is. It's astounding. Next up, the aforementioned, the misunderstood but brilliant Tales from Topographic Oceans, featuring some of Rick Wakeman's best keyboard playing, I think, certainly some of Steve Howe's most dizzying and dazzling guitar work. I still think that my favourite side is the Remembering High the Memory, side 2. I especially love it when the band kicks in and we get that relayer section. But I also love Steve Howe's gorgeous guitar playing and Jon Anderson's soft vocals on the brilliant Leaves of Green section on side 3. Up next, 1974's Relayer, an album that I needed to and was very keen to revisit. And this shows another side of Yes. It's a lot heavier, still brilliant, and then you get the lovely mellow album closer, To Be Over, which I think is beautiful. The band came back with Going for the One from 1977. Now this is my favourite Yes album. I think it's absolute perfection, from the opening rock riff of the title track to the mellow, quiet closing of Awaken. It is the best listen. Up next is 1978's Tormato. Now, if Tales from Topographic Oceans was the Yes album that I listened to most last year, this would be the second. Despite what many say, I think this is a very good album. There's loads of musical ideas going on. Yes, it feels like it's getting all a bit crammed in at times, but I think it's great. And I especially like Circus of Heaven and the closing track on the Silent Wings of Freedom. Both fantastic. And closing off that classic period is 1980s Drama. Drama indeed. No Rick Wakeman, no John Anderson, no problem. This is a very good album. I especially love the opening track, Machine Messiah, which is an incredible piece of music, right up there with Yes's best, I think. And I also really like Into the Lens. But as we all know, Yes didn't end there, and they've continued to go on with various lineup changes through the years. And their next album was 90125 from 1983, and I like parts of this album. I've always liked Owner of a Lonely Heart. I think that's a great song, and I like It Can Happen, and I really like Changes. But admittedly, this isn't a patch on those previous works. But another album that I went back to and really enjoyed listening to this year was 1999's The Ladder. Now, this has 4 of the 5 classic going for the one lineup. Sadly, no Rick Wakeman, but this is a really good album, really strong. The band are on good form here, always melodic, but it's a very uplifting album. I really like Homeworld, It Will Be a Good Day, New Language, 9 Voices, Finally. Really strong album. I really enjoyed listening to this. And there's some Yes albums that I own, but I don't know that well, so I certainly need to go back and listen to them. The debut album, the Yes album, Time and the Word, I only bought this year, so I've listened to that a couple of times. I like it, but I need to listen to it some more. And I bought this album years ago, but maybe I've listened to it once, so I'm looking forward to going back and listening to Union. Now, Rick Wakeman said that this album should have been called Onion because it made him cry, but I'm sure it's not that bad. But the next album that I'm going to listen to is Magnification. Now, I know this album a little bit. I do like the orchestration. I think it works really well, and I remember Spirit of Survival being good and the closing track, In the Presence of, being a good listen. And there's still 5 or 6 Yes albums that I don't own. I still need to buy Big Generator, Talk, Open Your Eyes, and a few others. And so I'll certainly rectify that at some point this year. And finally, I thought I'd show you some Yes solo material that I picked up on vinyl on my travels around the second-hand music stores in 2023. These were all cheap and cheerful. I got John Anderson's Song of 7 album, and Animation, and 3 Ships, and by Rick Wakeman, one called Criminal Record. 2023 was a real journey for me in rediscovering and, in some cases, discovering new Yes music. I just love this band so much and everything that they've got to offer. As I said earlier, it's a real treasure trove. And through 2023, Yes have cemented their place in one of my top 5 bands of all time. But thank you so much for spending this time with me and watching this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it, and please do leave any thoughts and comments on this magnificent band in the comments section below. I'd be interested to read them. Other than that, peace and love. See you next time.